Yeah.
Are we ready to rock and roll? Are we ready to start? We are super, super, super excited to get going. So if as soon as you give me the green light, we will begin. We will begin.
You've got the green light. Hey,
Okay, excellent. I will zoom in. Hi, everyone. I'm so, so, so happy all of you guys are here for so many different reasons. But one of the main reasons is because so many people want to make money, right? I'm sure all of you prefer to like go on a trip, buy a yacht, buy a new car, like do other things. Do you guys know how much money is thrown away? And I don't want to say thrown away, but so much money that isn't in our pockets because we don't understand these little things that Susan can teach us in such a fun way. Because sometimes, when we don't like something, it's really easy to just like pass it along to the accountant, and then they'll tell us we have to pay $50,000 in taxes. You guys, there is so much money that we could end up paying out because we don't really understand. So, having our foundation in a really strong place but having fun doing it so it's not something we're dreading and we're like trying to stay away from, but like actually embodying and understanding it is going to help us in such a bigger way. Okay. So you guys are in the right room because we're going to have fun. Susan's core value, you guys, is fun. Like it's fun. She puts fun into everything she does. So we're going to have fun, but it's going to serve you guys in saving, 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 saving. Okay. So I'm sure most of you guys know that if you're just listening, you're only retaining a certain amount of the information. So pull out a pen, pull out a paper, put your phones away, and really zone in because if you zone in, this is going to help. Okay. In the chat, I want you guys to put in a one if you guys like paying taxes. And put in a two if you don't. Okay. Put in a two if you do not like paying taxes. All right. So we know, the answer. I'm sure all of us know the answer. But does this happen to you guys where it feels like every year it's like I just paid them and now I have to pay them again? Like I just did my taxes and now I have to do it again, right? So isn't it going to be so much more fun, you guys, where we're going to be proactive and instead of us dreading doing taxes, we're actually going to be prepared ahead of time because we're going to be able to look at our numbers and say, wait a minute, that doesn't look right because Susan is going to teach us these things. We're going to be able to like look at things that we didn't understand before and be able to say, oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to give away money, just for no reason here and there. Because in reality, you guys, who really truly cares about your money in your pocket? Say me in the chat if you guys care about your own, say me, 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 because in reality, you guys care about your money in your pocket. You are the person that can make a difference in your bank account. It's you. You look in the mirror, but if you don't understand certain things, you're hurting yourself. So showing up here, you guys, is like really, really, really fun because you're showing up for yourself. You're showing up for your family. You're showing up for everyone around you. And when you have extra money, you have the ability to make different decisions and do more and more and more with it. Okay. So I went on a little rampage because I'm so excited about you guys being here and about serving yourself and helping yourself and also, getting yourself around someone that can really truly help you. Okay. So here we go. Let's see what else I have on my little notes down here today. Oh, the secret weapon, you guys, is the chat room. You guys have questions? Ask, ask. If you're paying attention and you have a question, don't let yourself um, keep that inside. Ask the question because Susan, you guys, really truly cares. That's the difference from just people that are doing something that they don't really love. When somebody doesn't love what they do, it's more like taking a box and just getting it done. Okay. So they're not putting their heart and soul of looking at this and saying, wait a minute, this family can save $20,000. This family can save $15,000. You guys, all of this money that you guys end up saving, you could use it for fun. You can use it for daily stuff, but you could also use it for retirement or whatever your heart tells you to do, but it's going to help you. Okay. Let's start helping ourselves. Let's stop giving our stuff away. Okay. Let's go deep. Let's go deep. And then, like Susan says, we're going to jump on here, but it's going to be like us getting together and throwing like a freaking party because now, when you're going to end up saving all that money, you have the money to have extra parties. Okay. You have the money to throw all these extra things going on. So, okay, let's see what else we have here. Susan and I were really just diving deep and discussing that in school, they teach you certain things, right? They teach you how to do algebra. They teach you how to even what did we say? Dissect a frog, like they teach you guys all these things. But do they really show you how you could lower your taxes or, to prepare for that? They really don't. So that's why we're not really programmed to really dig deep into our taxes. So what happens is we're more programmed to once a year just having to get them done. It's more like a hassle, it's more like a headache, right? And so we're just gathering what they need and we're just trying to get it done. So what Susan's going to do, you guys, is she's going to bring light to what's happening. So instead of us like wanting, like being frustrated or kind of being in one of those low vibes about having to get it done, she's going to bring us over here so we can get excited about what's happening. All right. Okay, let's see. Let's see what else we have here today. I mean, definitely you guys are in the right place because you're with someone that has been in it for years. Like this isn't somebody that decided a year ago that she wants to do taxes, you guys. She has the experience. She has the knowledge. And she has been, you guys, where like she's been with people like she had her own agency and she's been with people that were doing their taxes that had to come to her for her. I call it saving them because they were being audited. It is a feeling of, oh, not good when somebody is being audited. And you guys could just imagine if how bad that feels when something's wrong, right? So Susan, instead of having that low vibe, she's going to bring up the vibe, okay? And I can't say it enough. She's going to help us save. Let's save some money. And so I'm going to also introduce myself a little bit here. My name's Adi Murrieta. I'm out of Colorado, and I'm so grateful that you guys are all here today and happy that you're here to party with us and really get a good understanding of things. I also just want to tell you guys a little bit about what I do. I have partnered up with Vladi Kuna. So she is my business partner. She will be jumping on later today. We're all working together. I wanted to introduce Trace, who's out here with us as well. And he's just part of the team, rocking and rolling with Susan today. And so if it's okay with you, Trace, I'll pass the mic real quickly and you could tell them where to go if they would like to look for us. I also wanted to gift, Susan actually wanted to gift because this is coming from her. She's giving you guys, she wants to give because she's a giver. There's so many people that like um, take, take. Susan's way different, you guys. Her mentality is about how can we help each other? How can we truly give? How can we, lock arms and grow together? And that's a beautiful thing because you don't see that on a day-to-day, day to day. A lot of times people are thinking of me, me, me. And that's not Susan, you guys. That's why if you want to go far in your business, follow Susan. I mean, I truly, really, really suggest that. So I'll pass it on to you, Trace, for that
All
second
right.
question.
Hello, hello, hello. Great to be here with you all today. Thank you for being here. It's an honor to serve Susan alongside these lovely ladies, Adi and Vladi. And I'm really excited about what we all do. I'm really excited about what Susan does and what she has in store for you today. Again, I was saying here before our pre-show earlier, I had a chance to preview the content that she's prepared. And it's really great. And I love how Adi points out too, she makes it fun. So, this topic, it's not necessarily always the most fun thing in the world, right? And Susan just has a way of explaining things and making it really fun. So that's going to be amazing. And we all together work together collaboratively and have a lot of fun ourselves. So as Adi already mentioned. It's Adi, Vladi, and Trace here supporting Susan today. And we have something called the Mirror System. And if you want to learn more about what we do, you can go to themirrorsystem.com. But to put it simply, what we do is we help you become a goddess. I think we're all ladies in the room, right? Except for myself, of course. We have any other guys here? No. So I love to serve the goddesses. So we help you really. Um, we've been in business individually for 20 to 30 years ourselves, and we've gone through different, paths on our journey. And we've all kind of gotten to this high and, made the millions of dollars and did these things and then still kind of felt empty inside in a way. And so we've gone through that experience and we've met a lot of people who, they build these empires, they have really, really great things in the world for themselves and for others, but then there's still this feeling of emptiness sometimes inside. So what we are really doing, the core focus of what we do together is help you tune into what we call your inner goddess, help you figure out, who is it that you really want to be in the world? Who is it that, how do you really want to show up? And we help you recreate your self-image and stuff like that. So if you want to dive into what we do in our realm over there, you can go to themirasystem.com and check that out. But before, let's see here, let me look at my notes here. I think what I'd like to do now as well is really give you an idea of who Susan is. Does that sound okay, ladies, for you? Give a little overview of Susan and her background and like how amazing she is and all of her experience. Does that sound good? Okay, great. So Susan is an IRS enrolled agent, a financial coach, and a wealth advisor. If you don't know what an IRS enrolled agent is, it's a federally licensed tax professional authorized to represent taxpayers before the IRS in all 50 states. That's kind of a big deal. She's not just your neighborhood accountant. The EAs, the enrolled agents, earn their privilege by passing rigorous three-part exams on individual and business tax law. And they have unlimited practice rights, which means they can handle any kind of tax matter for any taxpayer before any IRS office. They're required to upload really strict ethical standards and complete continuing education and maintain this elite designation makes them experts in tax law and representation. Enrolled agent status is the highest credential the IRS awards. So let's clap for Susan here. That's really, really cool. She's also known as the Mastermind Wealth organization. She's the founder of Wealth Takeover Corp, where she trains business owners in both English and Spanish to take full control of their finances. As Adi talked about a little bit earlier, when we go to school and we learn all kinds of really great things, including how to dissect frogs, we don't necessarily learn how to really manage our finances properly. Even if you go to university and you go into business training, you don't really learn this stuff. So this is super, super important what we're talking about here today. I certainly wish I would have known this stuff like a couple decades ago when I started my business. I'm coming up on 28 years this year in business. So yeah, Susan, it would have been nice to have you in my life a little while ago. So anyways, Susan's signature training for executive CEOs begins at $30,000 and up, and she has over 30 years of experience in finances, and she's led teams in the banking industry. She's built a successful tax firm, and she's represented 5 to 8 figure business owners before IRS in-person audits. So she's been in that whole audit process quite a bit with a lot of different types of businesses. Her mission took on a new urgency, though, when she witnessed the silent suffering of business owners under IRS audits. And again, Adi talked about this a little bit earlier. She was working with these business owners who couldn't really explain how it all began to fall apart. One man confessed the IRS ate me alive. He said he wanted to hide under his desk. Another one that she was working with collapsed under from stress and was rushed to the hospital. A marriage ended, and two businesses were shot down under pressures as well. Lives were falling apart. Again, this whole IRS audit situation, it can be very, very stressful, especially when it's happening at a higher level. So that was Susan's breaking point. She was really determined to rewrite that story and help people at a higher level. So she sold her firm and she launched a movement. She created hands-on trainings. She became a keynote speaker. She started a YouTube channel. Hi, YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube. She published a Tax Jungle Takeover magazine and founded the Wealth Takeover Trainings, which is a financial awakening to help entrepreneurs avoid disaster before it strikes. Her exclusive $50,000 program, a VIP, a day with Susan, gives corporations quarterly private strategic consultations to legally reduce taxes, prepare and protect themselves before audits, and grow their cash flow through improved financial systems. In her training, Rise of the Wealth Warrior, clients can uncover a four-step to master the IRS game and legally reduce taxes long term. And there's a few things in her framework. She provides clarity for tax truth simplified. She provides organization so business owners know how to get organized to lower their tax faster and be audit ready. She also provides deduction. So business owners are the ones who control tax strategies during the wealth season instead of tax season. This is really big, guys. You want to control it during the wealth season, not during the tax season. She's going to talk all about how you can like look ahead and plan ahead, right? Super, super important. And then she also teaches deduction an estimate. So with the estimation, it's so that business owners know their estimated taxes before their accountant and before tax season to have enough time to lower their taxes. And this is all to protect your money with systems built on decades of real world experience. So really great stuff. Excited here. Adi, I'm going to throw it back to you for a second, and then I think Susan's about to bring her magic finally. Thanks for the warm up here.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you, Trey, so much. You guys, I have one question for you guys, okay? I really want you guys to think about it because sometimes, we're so busy that we're just going and going and going, but we sometimes have to slow down to think. And I was going to ask you guys, what's one thing you're excited to walk away with by the end of today's masterclass? Because there's a reason you were being called here. What is that one thing you want to walk away with? We want to make sure that we serve you and we give you what you need. So yes, please put in the chat what you want to walk away with. All right. And then also, we want to ask you if there was any challenges that you have had. Like, is everyone up to date with their taxes? What is the system that you guys use? Because Susan, later on, as she talks, you guys, she is delivering some really neat things. I mean, depending on, what you guys need and what you're interested in. I mean, Sue, like we were talking about her luxury VIP offer that she has, and it was like a wow. What that is, you guys, is if somebody like is behind in taxes, if they're not up to date, if something like that is going on, a lot of times we have to tweak things. We got to do things differently if we have been in some kind of chaos year after year after year, especially if you're paying too much money. Okay, guys. And what's really cool about Susan is she's able to structure what you need because there's some people that might want to buy a house. And so if you want to buy a house, of course, it's better that you show how much you make, right? So she really explains what is it that is best for your life. And there's so many different offers, but like one of them is if somebody's in a bit of a mess, she'll be able to like fly to you and really look at your system. Like, what is your system? What are you doing that you can do better? There's nothing, you guys, that we can do about the past, okay? But there is something we can do about what's coming our way, right? So by being proactive right here and having fun and learning how to do something to save us money, what would be really, really magical to Susan is she would like testimonials after she helps anybody in a year. Like, hey, I bought a yacht. Hey, I bought a new car. Hey, I was able to put 20,000 extra into my retirement fund, because that's when somebody truly cares and will really make a difference in your numbers. So I am more than happy to introduce, and I would ask all of you to help me welcome Susan Kerr, who is just beyond fabulous. We are so excited. I have my pen and paper ready. Remember, you guys, who pays attention is the one that's going to go the furthest. All right. So Susan, welcome to the stage. We are so happy. I got something fun for you, Susan. Listen to this, and everyone raise your hand if you could hear it. Okay. Was everyone able to hear it or not yet? Not yet? Okay. Well, that's because Okay, there we go. So anyways, we have some fun toys so we could actually have a party here. So Susan, welcome to the stage.
All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You, you're in for fireworks when it comes to taxes. I know people look at it like, whoo, they get scared, but not here, not in this arena. We're gonna have some fun. And thank you for coming. I want to applaud you because you're here. You're showing up for your wealth. That's what multimillionaires and multi-billionaires do. They show up for their money. Let me tell you, they show up for their money every single day. So, applauses for you. And how many of you would agree that time is the most valuable asset? Type in the chat. Isn't that right? Like, time is the most valuable asset. So, I want you to know that I'm going to over deliver for you so that your time is not an expense, but it's an investment. So why am I here? Because for years, I've been seeing the IRS surprise business owners with audits. I decided that I'm going to train business owners to surprise the IRS. How many would like that? That is power back to the business owner. That's what I want you guys. I want to return the power, that power that was taken from the business owners back to you. So before I start, is it okay that I share with you how this whole training came about? Is it okay that I share this with you? Yes. Yes, time. My computer is super slow today. Let's see. I'm reading. Yes, yes. Awesome. Perfect. So I'm going to share this quick story. Um, uh, One day, a lady called me in a panic. Susan, we're being audited by the IRS. Can I book a 1 hour consultation? I said, yes, but I advised her 1 hour wouldn't be enough, especially if the revenue agent was coming to her office. So she told me that her accountant had gone silent. The IRS, when she heard IRS audit, she wouldn't pick up the phone. She wouldn't help her. So she was alone, scared, desperate for someone to would help her. So I went to her office and I did as much as I could during that 1 hour. But a month later, she called me back. She said, and this time she was totally overwhelmed. She was exhausted. Susan, she said, we can't take it anymore. Please take over. This revenue agent keeps showing up at our business asking for things we don't even understand. Our clients are watching. They're like asking, why is this person here? Have you ever been in a situation where you just had enough and you got help? It's like it didn't matter. It didn't matter the time, didn't matter the money. You just had enough and you got the help that you needed. Well, this is the place where she was. That it started a 10-month painful audit for them. That agent began showing up at my office, my second office. Then came a 5-figure penalty that was very scary for her. And that 5-figure penalty was correct. But I do not work for the IRS. I work for the business owner, right? So I asked respectfully if he could waive or evade that penalty. The IRS agent said no. And he was right because they deserve the penalty. But then I asked him, okay, that's fine, but may I speak to your manager? Because I'm working here for the client. And he was like, what? Like he was startled. So, but he said yes, right? Eventually, I sat across 3 agents. It was me, the IRS agent, the manager, and another IRS agent. It's like, oh my God, and me there trying to get this penalty evaded. So I gotta tell you, by the grace of God, within about an hour and a half of the back and forth situation, the entire penalty was evaded, was completely gone. And but contrast that with a client. Oh, let me tell you this. Contrast this with a client that I had that was my client for many years, was an 8-figure client that got also audited, but they knew better. They just sent a revenue agent to my office. And this guy came in like very, very thinking that my client did something wrong. And he almost slammed the papers on my desk. And so, but I had already prepared for him for an entire week. So I gave him all the paperwork respectfully. And he went to my second office. And before he went to the second office, he told me, this may take about 3 hours. But from there, we're going to see, because, it can take days, can take weeks, months. So, but in less than 2 hours, this revenue agent came out completely different. He was humble. He was very respectful, completely different. And he told me something that I want every business owner to hear if ever they get audited. He said those words, no change. Do you know what that means? No change? It means, Susan, the math was done correctly. Susan, the rules were followed. There is nothing that I can change. Everything is correct in less than 2 hours. You know why? Because I prepared. I organized everything. I actually did part of his work. I want you guys to have that clarity. Think about it. Think how would it feel for you if something like that happens, but you can see everything? Because the revenue agent, when the business owner is with the revenue agent, the business owner is like this. They cannot see. While the revenue agent can see everything. And that's what made my heart just, my blood boil on the inside, because that's not fair. That's not fair. So, and not only for audits, but for saving taxes. So there was another person also that was referred to me. He sat across me and with anguish, and I don't know how, that day I felt his anguish so vividly in my heart. He told me, Susan, the IRS ate me alive. And that like just hit my heart, because I felt like he was my brother, because I'm in my mind, I always see people that are about my age, like my brother or my sister, or if they're older, I see them like my mom. And so I felt so bad. I wanted to, like, I wish I was there to help. And he told me, Susan, I'm a smart guy. Like, I trusted that I'm very smart. But when I got there, I didn't know what I didn't know. I felt so embarrassed. I wanted to hide under the desk. And that put another it pressed my heart into thinking, wait, these good people are in big trouble. This is business owners. So that's what pushed me to do something completely different. And what I decided to do is actually search, is there something that these people can learn from? I searched for classes that business owners can take, but I couldn't find it until it kind of like hit me, as if God was whispering, why not you? So I had not heard the word coach. It wasn't a thing back then. But I decided to actually sell my tax practice, and a place where I thought I was going to be there pretty much the rest of my life. That's something totally drastic for me. I went back to the dense jungle of taxes. Have you ever felt like you just want to learn something and you take it upon yourself to go and do your own research? So I went back after I already represented small and multi-millionaire businesses and in-person IRS audits. I went back to the tax jungle, this time with a different perspective. How can this business owner, how can I tell them yes? Because there's so many, I don't know if you felt like you want to do this and the accountant tells you, no, you cannot do this. But I want to do this. No, you cannot do that either. And no here, no there. And then the business owner looks at the accountant and you feel like you're speaking different languages because like you cannot understand what the accountant is saying. Well, I decided to study again, to re-study this way, this time my way, 14, 18 hours a day, publication books, IRS manuals, tax court cases, so that I can simplify the tax code for the business owner. In all of this journey, a breakthrough came out. And this is the TCS quadrant. You know, like Robert Kiyosaki has his cash flow quadrant. This quadrant is about the tax cost, it's about the tax rates, it's about the ticket price that government puts on your income. Think about it. Have you ever gone shopping, let's say, I don't know, Publix, Walmart, Target, and purchase something very expensive without knowing the price? Have you like ever done that? No, most people when they buy something, they look at the price. Right now, you're earning money, you don't know what the price tag is. Like, isn't that totally insane? Like that is insane that people have their biggest bill and they do not know what the price tag the IRS is putting on their money. That's insane. And so that's what the TCS quadrant finally is, the lenses that I give you. I pretend these are lenses. This is the TCS quadrant. And pretend that this is the lenses that the IRS uses to look at you and decide how much to charge you. Well, I'm going to give you these lenses. These lenses is called the TCS quadrant. You can wear it and you can see the exact same thing. That's what I want. So that now you can have the power to legally lower your tax bill before, and get this, please understand this part right here because this is very important. Before the year ends. Because after the year ends, all you get is coupons. Like those 50 cents coupons, those $1 coupons. I need you to know that. So that also you can verify the mistakes your accountant may do. So think about this. You go to your accountant says you have to pay 10,000. But if you were my student and you already did your estimate, you estimated your taxes, you can find out that it is maybe, let's say, 3,000. But when your accountant tells you it's 10,000, then you are going to ask, show me how or where is the difference. Now you're leading the accountant. Now the accountant says, I have this in income. And then you can say, no, that is incorrect because this is the correct income. Oh, but what is this income? Then you can say, oh, that's a loan to my business. Oh, okay, now I see. And now you can correct what your accountant may have misunderstood. You see the difference? Right now, nobody's doing that. Right now, most business owners, their accountant tells them it's going to be 10,000. They say, oh, geez, that's a lot of money. I guess I have to pay it. I don't want that. I want the business owner to be able to say, okay, yeah, that correlates. That's pretty much what I got to. So that is correct. Or you can say, oh, there's a huge difference here. We got to find out what happened. So you'll see what it is. So that here I'm going to show you the 4 steps that I use to help people decrease 43,000 over $60,000 in taxes. This is the 4 steps that I use to get people through an audit in less than 2 hours, to actually completely erase the debt of a business owner that came to me last minute. He was referred to me, and and he was in hot water. I didn't know until I spoke with the revenue agent. The revenue agent was within hours of putting him in jail. This revenue agent was livid. And I'm glad I was with her on the phone, because she was like, oh, all these things. And she was telling me, your client did this, and your client did that, and your client did this. I'm getting the paperwork ready because he is going to jail. So I was like, so I just let her have it, because she was livid. She was very upset. And she was right. She was right. So after she talked for about half an hour, then what I did, I show her the picture of the other side that she was not able to see of my client, of my new client. And I was able to purchase time to get all the paperwork ready. And I sent like this big, huge proof of a lot of paperwork. And guess what? The revenue agent completely stopped harassing this client, completely evaded 100% of all those taxes. How did I do that? By following these 4 steps, which is, number 1 is the code. Code C stands for clarity. And if you want to type in the chat, that would be great, because it'll help you. Engagement, remember, it helps you to retain more. So type in the chat. C stands for clarity. O, it stands for organization, because without clarity, you cannot get organized. You need clarity to get organized. Awesome. Very good, Nancy. Very good, Trace. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Therese. Yes. Awesome. Welcome, welcome. So nice to see you guys here. I am so happy. Anyway, the next one is D. D stands for deduction. Because now, when you understand it, you get organized. Now you can deduct with confidence, legally, correctly. There is no doubt, because you know you're doing the right thing. And then last is estimate. Now, with all that information, it's become so easy to go and estimate your taxes. I know that right now is impossible for a lot of people, but yes, you can. So you just need the recipe. That's all. More than that, for me, is returning your peace back. It's not just to lower your taxes. It is really giving you peace, because I've been in the battlefield of audits. I know what it does to businesses, to business owners, because business owners are very preoccupied in growing their business. And when they're going there, they're starting to get money, all of a sudden the audit comes in and destroys that dream. I don't want that. I don't want to see that. That's painful. Imagine, it's painful for me to see it. It's more painful for the business owner that lives through it. And guess what? That doesn't come in the news. You don't see audits that come out in the news. Oh, this business closed because of an audit. It's not in the news. It's happening, but it's silently happening out there. So I've been there. I came back from that battlefield, and I'm here to tell you, business owners, let's prepare ahead of time. Business owners, we need to look and we need to prepare. We need to learn. We need to have the right glasses. We need to perform at 100% so that our accountant can perform at 100%. So I want to show you this video really quick. Ooh, I want to see this video about how taxes. I thought it was very funny. I don't know if actually Trace, by any chance, do you have that link that you can show it?
Let me double check. I'm not sure if I've got it actually, but
How do taxes work?
let me see here. Yeah, I've got it.
You got it? Okay.
I've got it.
You show it.
One moment, please, and I'll pull it up.
Fabulous.
All right, let me share my screen. I'm going to share this little window over here. Screen here.
He says something. There it is.
You guys can see this, yes?
Type yes if you can see it.
Check. I haven't hit play yet, but I just want to make sure you can see it. Okay, I'll go ahead and hit play now. Thank you, Teresa and Thomas, Nancy. Thank you, guys. Okay, great.
You wake up in a house you're taxed to own. You buy a morning coffee and you're taxed. You drive to work in a car that's taxed. On roads that are taxed. Fueled by gas that's taxed. You arrive to work in a company that's taxed. In offices that are taxed. To receive a paycheck that is taxed. Then you spend your money, tax. You invest it, tax. You start making more money, more tax. Oh, and when you die, they'll tax you one last time. The game is rigged. Learn the rules or pay the price. You wake up in a house. You buy a morning coffee.
That's great.
Yeah. It's a good, that's a good reminder.
Yeah.
That's a good reminder of, gosh, there's taxes everywhere. Wouldn't it make sense to learn the system so that you can lower it as much as possible? So it's learn the rules or pay the price. We do not want to pay the price. We just want to learn the rules, people. So let's look at this map. The map is number one, as we said before. Oh, let's see. One is clarity, the other one is organization. So clarity is the revealing of how the entire system works. Is you understanding it like never before. Organization is your armor, is to go with the speed, because it's not just organizing, but it helps you to speed through that tax deductions so that you can get the tax deductions so that you can actually implement them. Because a lot of people hear deductions, they're like, oh, I heard this and I heard that, but they don't know how to implement them. And so they put it on the side. Oh, later I will do that. Later I'm going to do that. And that's the number one enemy of wealth, delay. And so I want you guys to just get it and implement. And then number 4 is estimate your taxes to evaluate what your tax accountant is doing. So I'm going to share with you really quick. Would you like to know what the IRS is doing these days in regards to improving their operations? I think it's really important that the business owners know that. And I'm going to go through this very, very quickly. So come along with me really quick. There is this thing that's called IRA, which is called Inflation Reduction Act, okay? This was done in 2022. The IRS got 80 billions. The goal was to help the IRS be able to do more audits, to service the taxpayers better. Out of that 80 billions, 46 billions was for enforcement. Basically, more audits and investigation. The rest was to modernize their technology and improve their customer service. But Congress said, I think we're giving you guys too much. We're going to take 21 billions. So then the IRS only got 59 billions. Still a lot of money. So why should business owners care? The IRS is using this money to hire thousands of new agents and focus more on businesses and high income earners. So if you run an S corporation with 6 figures, you're going to see more audits in the future. What this means so far, in 2023, the IRS brought in 86 billions through their enforcement efforts. Like, that's a huge return. Wouldn't you think? That's a huge return that the IRS is doing based on that investment. So now this is what's happening right now. The IRS wants even more money. They've asked 104 billion more to keep going through 2034. If they get it, they'll keep upgrading and doing more audits, especially businesses. However, if we learn the system, we never need to worry. Because if a business owner that knows the system gets audited, they will hear what I heard long time ago, what I heard from my long-term client, the words, and you can type it in the chat, no change, no change. That's what you're going to hear, no change. So the other thing I want you to know, because this is also important, is what is the rate that business owners get audited? So the rate is this. S corporations and partnerships tax returns get audited 0.49%. C corporations returns get audited 0.75%. And Schedule C's, including personal tax returns, are audited 0.34%. What does that mean, Susan? Schedule C's get an extra penalty assessed. The average per tax return of a Schedule C is 5,400. If you're a C corporation, the average that they have to overpay is 35,600. But S corporations is 11,200. So I think this is very important to know. You know why it matters? Because if you're in a 6-figure income and you're a corporation, you are most likely to get audited. This is the reason the business owners need to perform at 100% so that the accountant can also perform at 100%. So in the event of an audit, now we have two horses speeding at 100% to get out of an audit faster and to pay less money accurately and legally, efficiently. Think about that. Because right now, right now it's like 10% the business owner, maybe 25% the business owner. And then the accountant is trying to do as much as he can, but the accountant can, if you bake a cake and you need all these ingredients, and the person that's supposed to give you all these ingredients only gives you half of the ingredients, you're going to do just so much, So the accountant is waiting on your ingredients. So I'm going to show you, I want you to, if you can, yeah. Yeah, is there any truth that if you file an extension to October 15, does that reduce your chances of an audit? No, there is no chance. Just because you have an extension, that doesn't really mean doesn't add up to the chances of being audited or not. What does, well, I'm going to tell you, is when you change accountants all the time. That gives a red flag to the IRS, because they're thinking, why is this person changing accountants all the time? There, you got a little, you got an advice there. Very important. And now that doesn't mean that if you have a bad accountant, you have to stay, you change, but do try to stay with one accountant long term. So the IRS doesn't think that you're trying to hide something. So pretend pretend you have, pretend there's a tree, right? And the tree has 3 parts: the leaves, the trunk, and the roots. Pretend that the leaves are the tax returns that people file all the time. And the trunk is the deductions or tax strategies. but the root is the tax code. When you water a tree, don't you water the roots? So if right now what's happening is that the business owners are watering the leaves of the tree by just doing tax returns. And some of them are going to water the trunk of the tree with the tax deduction and all these strategies. But not too many people are watering the roots of the tree, of the tax tree, which is the knowledge of the tax system. I want you guys to see that. And last, I want you guys to pretend you're going to this store. You're in this store and you're like, let's say it is, I don't know, Target. A lot of people understand Target. So this is a metaphor. Target store is a tax store. To make sure we understand the value of knowing the tax code, how the tax code works. So imagine you're walking into Publix, you grab what you need, some income there, a few business expenses here, maybe an investment or two. You just file in your card with all these types of incomes or what seems right to you. But there's a twist. Nothing has a price. You have no idea what anything costs. When you finally get to the cashier, which is the accountant rings the register, which is a tax software. Notice that it's after the fact. They're just doing a transactional thing that you did the prior year. Then the total shows up in the register, which is a tax software. And then you're like, what? That's a lot of money I'm going to pay. But it is too late. You cannot go back. The year is over. You cannot go back to the prior year. It's like a bolt. So then the security guard, that's the IRS, checks your receipts, which is your tax return, to make sure everything lines up. Here is the thing. The prices were there all along. You just couldn't see it because they're written in the tax code, not on tax. So if you learn the tax code, it's like the lights turn on all of a sudden, you can see. Now you can see the prices before you put things in your card, before the register, and before you go to your accountant. That's how you take control of your money. And that's exactly what the Wealth Warrior training is all about. So you're in the right place, my friends. You're in the right place. So type code in the chat if you are understanding this so far. Code. Yes, thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Angie. Very good. Thank you, Ruby. Awesome. Thank you, Thomas. Very good. Very good. Thank you, Renee. Very good. I am so glad. Thank you, Teresa. Yes, very good. I am so glad. You know, yes, that analogy really helps me to understand better. I am so glad. Thank you. I appreciate that. The hardest, Albert Stein said the hardest thing in the world to understand is the income tax. This is one of the reasons 49% of business owners close their business within 5 years, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. But learning how to drive is also hard, right? Learning how to drive was also hard. However, you were able to clearly see the need to drive. So now, once you see the need to save your money, to protect your money, you're going to want to learn how the tax system works. Why? Because this is going to protect your businesses, and you're going to leave that as a legacy for your children. And guess what? For your grandchildren too. Because what I'm teaching you is not the tax updates, which change all the time. It is the framework, the foundation. And that's what I want business owners to really be able to control. Imagine that. So I'm going to tell you something. The business owners always ask, Susan, how do millionaires and billionaires don't pay taxes, and they pay zero taxes? Tell us how they do it. We want to learn. They want to know how they do it. Well, there is 5 steps that they go through. Okay. I'm going to tell you the truth because I've been there for several years with small and multi-millionaire businesses, helping them. In fact, one of them told me, Susan, like, this is amazing. I actually look forward to working with you during tax season. Like, oh my God, that's so amazing. So this is the 4 steps. Number 1 is they get clarity. They search how things work. They hire people and they ask all kinds of different questions because they want to understand. Because they're making money and they're trying to see how they can keep a lot of their money. Then they get organized. Then they understand. They get information about how tax deductions work because they want to deduct as much as they can legally. And then they also estimate. Yeah. They want to say, okay, how much do we need to pay? Oh my gosh, I'm glad we're doing it right now because we have some time to implement other strategies. And then number 5, then they report their taxes. Guess what? People who are not multimillionaires, most people do. They go directly. They skip all 4 steps and they go to the 5th. So then they wonder why they're overpaying taxes. That's why the studies show that over 93% of business owners are overpaying taxes, even if they hire an expensive accountant. Think about that. It's not the accountant's fault because remember, we're giving the accountant all the ingredients to bake the cake. So let me tell you another thing that they do. This is very important for you guys. You know how tax season is from January through April? For wealthy people, it's not. That's when they report. But tax season is during the wealth season, which is August, September, and October. That's when I sat with my business owners to strategize. That's when we sat and we ran the numbers. So I'm giving you what I actually did, not from theory, people. I'm giving you this from experience. This is not something I learned or someone taught me. This is something I learned through experience because I did it with these clients. I met with them. We ran the numbers. One of my clients that was in even a crew basis, which is a lot, their accounting is even more complex. She actually was able to do things faster than I did. It's like, oh my God, I fulfill my mission that the student is supposed to be better than the teacher. It was so awesome. Anyway, so they also know, these millionaires and billionaires, they also know their allies and their enemies, their action takers. So I'm going to tell you really quick. That you need to know those enemies. And then enemy number 1 is the spider of wealth disorganization. You know what it tells you? It says, you don't have to pay attention to taxes until you earn more money. Leave it on the side. Don't worry about it now. But when is the best time to raise a child? When they are babies or when they are already 14 years old? It's so much easier when you start from the beginning. And then the next enemy is the dragon of wealth destruction. The dragon of wealth destruction fights you from implementing it now. It strikes at the start of the year to keep you busy to act. But beware, once the year ends, it quiets down because it knows the damage has been already done. You know what it tells you when it comes to tax strategies and deductions? It tells you it is too complicated. Don't do it. Leave it all to your accountant. Give all your power to your accountant. But is it worth losing $2,000 or $30,000? Think about it. No. And the last enemy is the serpent of wealth, false information. It steals your wealth power by making you doubt your own wisdom, by making you doubt your own reasoning, like whispering lies, disempowering you so that you can lose your authority. You know what it tells you? It says, don't worry, just leave everything to the accountant. But then he goes and tells the accountant, don't worry, they should have known better. The business owner should have known better. You are too busy to do more free research for them. Just do it as it is with the ingredients that they gave you. You see what's happening? I mean, this is from experience, people. And I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm not good with numbers. I am not good with numbers. You're going to be like, what? Really? Yeah, I'm not good with numbers. If you ask me, Susan, what is 77 plus 82? I'm like, I'm going to grab a calculator. Yeah, but what I have is reasoning. And guess what business owners just have? A lot of reasoning. Otherwise, you wouldn't be a business owner. I'm using your reasoning power so that you can actually understand this. And let me put this in here because I am also in TikTok. And TikTok is telling me to, okay, very good. So yeah, this is amazing, people. So now with this, I am going to, I'm going to give this back to 80 or Trace, and they're going to give you one more thing. And then after that, we're going to run with the tax code, with the tax clarity. All right, let's take it.
I hope you guys are getting some knowledge here and realizing that if by you stepping into it, it's only going to serve you guys. And I want to tell you guys a quick story. And this is a story that happened to me here. Okay. So I do quite well and I end up paying a ton of taxes every single year, you guys. I pay and I pay and I pay. Well, I have health insurance and my health insurance said, let me give you it was kind of some kind of discount or something or whatever. Well, I just kind of went with the float. I'm like, oh, great, I get a discount, fabulous. So they gave me a discount and they did my taxes. And then I guess when they looked again, they're like, wait a minute, she makes too much money in order for her to have gotten that discount. And out of nowhere, they tell me I owe $43,000 in taxes. So I don't even understand, like, how can you get a small discount or, a discount in your insurance throughout the year. And then all of a sudden they say that you owe an additional $43,000 in taxes. So, things happen when we're not paying attention. And that's why it's so important to get connected with people like Susan, who has the patience that when she looks at your stuff, she's going to be able to say, wait a minute, let's party. You need that money to use it elsewhere. Okay. So let's not wait for things to happen. I'm also seeing, I think your name is Luis here. I don't know. You look young. That's really a wonderful thing for, the younger version to be jumping on and really understanding it then, because that way they're not going to have to deal with what I dealt with last year and paying an additional $43,000 because there's some kind of hiccup in the paperwork. If we have the knowledge, it's going to help us in such a bigger way. And And I was looking here. I just saw my partner Vladi Kuna. She just jumped on here, and she's a big fan, you guys, of Myron Golden. And we have something here, and I'm thinking we would probably jump. What do you guys think? Jump right into what did you say, Trace? Pull out a piece of pen and paper. So I'm going to let you unmute and run.
You gonna have me unmute or Vladi Kuna?
Either one, either one. I want them to get this information and understand.
Okay. All right. I have a power. I'll take it on unless Vladi you want to come on, but I've got something here that is a great, powerful question for you guys. So I'd like you to think just for a second. What are the two most expensive things that you pay for right now in your business, in your personal life? What are the two most expensive things that you pay for? Go ahead and put those two things in the chat for us. We're not going to do anything with the information, and we're non-judgmental here. It's just a fun exercise to shine a spotlight on awareness. We've got lease here as an answer, car, right? The two most expensive things. Taxes. You're in the right spot, Renee. Mastermind and ignorance. Those are good. Mortgage, insurance, taxes. Okay, very good. So I see mortgage here, taxes, kids, alimony. Very good. Very good. Coaching and operating expenses. Okay, this is great. Not knowing what I don't know concerning taxes. Yeah, that one can be very, very costly. That's a high level of awareness there too. It's like what you don't know can definitely hurt you, right? Being in the shadows, so to speak. Yeah. Not making more money. Okay. That's great. Thank you guys for answering. This is great. So, a lot of people typically when we ask this question, they have a tendency to say it's their house, their mortgage, their car, their loans, even their kids, right? Um, the one that we really want you to be aware of, and you guys are savvy because you got it here. The second biggest expense, no matter who you are, where you are in the world, is definitely taxes. So whatever your number one is, that's your number one, but your number two is taxes. Every time that you make money, every time that you buy something, every time that you own something, the IRS is there taking a piece, right? We've got our income tax, we've got our sales tax, we've got our property tax. There's even tax when we die, right? We saw the video earlier that Susan asked me to share. Um, I remember on my accountant's wall for a long time, she said, "There's two things that are certain in life: death and taxes." Right? So we're always being taxed. It really is our number two expense. The shocking part is, if you're like most people, and again, Susan shared this earlier, if you're like most people, you're giving away about 51% of your income to taxes. So if we break that down, that's 51 cents out of every single dollar, right? So out of 10 bucks, it's $5.10. Out of 1,000 bucks, you're giving away 510 to the tax man or tax lady, whatever you want to prefer to call it. If you're making 100 grand, that's over 51 grand that's gone. If you're making a million, then that's 510 grand that's gone, right? So you're basically working half the year just to pay the government. So if you would think about this, it's like, what if you could have paid whatever you paid in taxes last year? What if you could have paid $50,000 less in your taxes? Or what if you could keep 100,000 more over the next few years just by understanding the rules? And depending upon what you do with that 100,000, right, you can compound it and have it grow for you in a big way because you've got it still, right, rather than just handing it over. Um, Susan mentioned earlier, if you know how to bake a chocolate cake, they teach you the steps, right? You can bake it as well because you've got the recipe. So it's the same thing here with the taxes. This is really, really great about what Susan's sharing here. Because the question isn't, do I have the time for this? It's not, can I afford this? The question is not, will my wife or husband or business partner get on board? The only question that you have to answer here is, you want to know what the question is? Everybody say you're ready in the chat if you want to know the answer. You want to know the answer? The only question that you really have to answer? Give me one. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. Just one. All right, thank you. Very good. The question that you have to answer is, do I want to give the government 50% of my income next year for not knowing the tax recipe? Is that the legacy that I want to leave for my kids and grandchildren? Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I think today about like my own situation right now, but I think about my kids, and I've got a 4-year-old right now and almost 8-year-old, and like arming them with this stuff is going to be so powerful. So I'm going to set things up better for myself now with this, but just knowing what I can also pass on to them, it's very inspiring. Um, so you can either choose like, no, I don't want to, continue, and I don't want to have this awareness, and I'm going to continue to pay the 51%, or you can choose to stop paying this big expense. Again, it's the number two expense, no matter who you are, what you're doing, it's your number two. So it's your turn to win. And on that note, I'd like to bring Susan back.
Oh,
And
yes.
Susan is going to show you how to take back your authority in the tax system and conquer what she calls your God-given wealth with the scrolls of clarity. This is really cool what she's about to show you here. So thank you, Susan. Let's bring on the scrolls.
Yes, woohoo! I am so excited to show you this because wow, it took so many years, but it is well worth it. Um, Before I go there, I want to show you a 60-second video to kind of bring this to life. And I wonder if Trace has the second video. If you have
I I've got it. I've got it ready to roll. I knew what might be coming.
you. Thank you, Trace.
Let me share this. You guys can see the share here. Gonna refresh the page so it starts from the beginning again.
I know what you do for work. I know where you live. I know how much money you make. I know what your social security number is. I know if you're married. I know how many kids you have. I know what your favorite food is, where you like to shop. I know what your hobbies are. I know everything you own. Okay, then can you tell me how much I owe for taxes? I can't give you that info. But you do know. Yes. You can't just send me a bill telling me how much I owe? Why would I do that? Okay, well, I'll do my best to figure it out, I guess. Literally, no one taught us how to do this, but okay. And if you're wrong, you go to prison. I know what you do for where you live. I know how much money you make. I know.
Isn't
Oh
that
man.
what's happening right now? And if you run, you're gonna get this penalty. So, by the way, before I forget, I just want to share this with you. The first penalty can be easily evaded, a waive. So if ever you get a penalty, the first one, the IRS will practically just give you that. When is the very first one? Just know that. Good, right? All right. So, all right, we're gonna enter right now, business owners. We're gonna enter right now the tax jungle. Ready? I want you to pretend you're coming with me to this dense tax jungle. This is a trail. I've been here in this tax jungle, but don't worry, don't get scared, don't get sidetracked. You're coming with someone that has already been here. And it's called we're entering the Chronicles of the Tax Jungle. It's a it's the path, it's that place that we need to go through to be able to actually really save taxes, decrease our taxes. So let's have fun and let's just imagine, okay? So if you've been, when you've done your taxes, you've seen all kinds of different incomes. There is taxable income, passive income, ordinary income, unearned income, portfolio income, like the thing, because you're like, I don't even know how. There's so many. And then on top of that is called different names, right? Like the same income is called different names. Like no wonder it is so like confusing, right? Okay. So what I decided to do is like, oh my God, how can I help these people? And you know what I thought? Pictures can tell 1,000 words because like you can put a lot in just pictures. So that's what I'm going to show you right here is my TCS quadrant. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to use the glasses of the IRS so that you can see your income, the tax rates, and your occupations. I'm going to show you 3 things, okay? So the first one is income. When you understand this, like everything starts to make sense. This is the dominoes effect, okay? So a lot of you are already familiar with the house, right? So this symbol is gonna help you understand the basic structure of the tax code. So the main structures like walls, the floor, I'm saying the floor, well, the floor is thin, and then the roof right here, right? So I'm giving you the main frame. So if you have a paper, you have a pen and a paper, you can draw right now because that's going to help you understand better. Draw in a paper like the two houses, two houses. Just draw it, two houses. And that two houses, I actually put it over here like that. You can draw like a little house like that. And so the walls, the floor, that's your main structure because the tax updates are like the decoration inside the house. That you can get it free anytime. You can go to YouTube and get that. What's not there is the actual mainframe, and that's what you're getting right now. So the first house, we're gonna call it, that's your first home. Your first home is gonna be like right here, right here. I'm gonna go over there and show you another picture. But for now, I want you to draw it, because I think it'll help to understand it better. So the first one is your first home. The one is your vacation home. So the first home is, we're going to pretend that that's where the earned income lives. In the second home, we're going to pretend that's where the unearned income lives. So we're just separating right now earned income and unearned income. That's it. So if your mind is trying to tell you, oh no, I cannot, just throw it away. Throw away all those negative thoughts, because right now we're just using reasoning power. Earned income, unearned income. All right. That first home of earned income has two floors. The first floor is active income. Think of you working and sweating, you're doing a lot of work, you're active doing this work. That's the first floor of the earned income house. The first house is the earned income. The second floor is ordinary income. That's where you're using your mind, you're making decisions, sitting in your desk, in your business. That's ordinary income. And then we go to the vacation home, which is the second home. The first floor is passive income. And you're going to learn something here that a lot of people do not know. Passive income is where people actually sell things. They sell their business, they sell their property, they sell things. Passive income. And I'm showing you these not through the lenses that is out there. I'm showing you these through the lenses of the IRS, okay? The second floor of the unearned income home is called portfolio income. That's where people are selling and buying somebody else's business ownership. That's why the IRS separates it. So the first floor, so you have two houses. The first one is the earned income. The second one is the unearned income. So I'm showing you a quadrant. And I'm going to go and I'm going to show you. I thought, I'm showing this like this, but how can I explain it in such a better way so that people can actually grab it so much faster? And you know what? Pictures with colors can say 1,000 words. So I'm going to go right now and I'm going to put this on pause. I'm going to go to the other room. In the meantime, I want you to, if you haven't made the drawing, I want you to draw it. Even if you don't have a paper, draw it in your mind. Two houses. The first floor, active income, ordinary income. The second home, passive income. The second floor, portfolio income. All right, we're going to go over that. Yeah, really quick. I'm going to put here this on pause. I'm going to close these. And here.
I love these frameworks that she's come up with. It really helps it stick. And I love that she's having you guys draw it out as well, rather than just showing a slide, because it really does help you cement things in. A lot of the things that we do, 80, Vladi and myself, we play a lot in the world of, mindset and personal development and building new neural pathways and all that stuff. And it really does make a big difference when you're using your physical hand with paper to write this stuff out. So I don't see this a lot with presentations like this, and I think it's great that Susan's doing this. So thank you, Susan. I don't know if you heard my whole gratitude.
Yes, that's awesome. Awesome. I think it's going to be so much better if I show you this way.
Yeah,
All
it's great.
right, let's see. Are you guys able to see me? Yes? Awesome. Awesome. All right. So can you guys see this quadrant? The first home and the second home. The first one is the active income. This is like the kitchen. This is where you're working. The ordinary income is the second floor. This is where shareholders are. This is where retired people are. And then we have the house or the passive income. This is where all the sales are happening. And this is where all the sales are happening except for other people's business. This is your business. This is other people's businesses. This is employees. This is shareholders. So this right here is an LLC. You see it?
It's a cute LLC.
Yeah, LLC. This LLC, a lot of people think it goes in here. But an LLC, the IRS, remember, you're seeing it through the lenses of the IRS, okay? And I want you to know the truth. It says, you shall know the tax truth, and the tax truth shall set you free. So active income is LLC. And if you're an S corporation, employee of your S corporation, you also go here. If you're an employee of another corporation that's not yours, you also are here, active income. If you earn money as an S corporation, that means a profit, right? Because when you earn money, you earn it as an employee and also as an S corporation. So you make profit and you get wages. But when you get profit, that profit, the IRS puts it here. And then when you sell a real estate property that is yours, it goes here, passive income. When you sell stocks, ETFs, any type of ownership in another corporation, it goes here. So let me ask you a question. So I love to ask this question. I would love you to put in the chat. If you're a business owner who has a rental house, right? And you receive rental income, where would you put that rental income? Would you put it under ordinary, passive, or active? I would love to see what. Okay, Robbie says active, that rental income. Anybody else? What do you think? And if you don't know, it's okay. You can say, don't know, because you're here to learn. And earn, passive, or portfolio. So passive portfolio, some people say, other people say an earn, which is the whole thing here, any of those. And then passive, right here. And active, right here. Okay, let me tell you guys the truth. So I'm looking for another one, but that's okay. let's pretend that this right here is rental income from this investor. Through the lenses of the IRS, that rental income is ordinary income, people. Ordinary income. That's how the IRS decides to charge you on your income. So now I'm going to take all of this out. No, actually, I'm just going to put it on top. I want you to see now the tax rates. Woo-hoo. Because this is important. Remember, the reason why these colors are like that, because this gets the most tax charge. Then is this one, then is this one, then is this one. So if you're here, you're getting the most tax charges. So what tax rates are here? There's a lot of them, okay? But I'm going to give you two. Active income is the 10 to 37%. Actually, I'm going to show you here. 10 to 37% federal taxes. These right here is here. And also here. The IRS says whether you have ordinary income or whether you have active income, we're going to charge you 10 to 37% federal taxes. So why, Susan, why did you do that? Why didn't you just put it together? Because the IRS has it together. But the reason why I separated it is because there's another tax. We're going to call this Social Security and Medicare. That is here. But it's not here. Do you know how much is the Social Security Medicare? 15.3%. Aren't you glad you came here to learn? Because you're seeing these through the lenses of the IRS. So where do you want to be? Now, pretend this is a tax mall and you're coming to see where you are, because once you know where you are in the tax mall, you know where you want to be. So if you understand you're here, now you know you want to be here. But then what taxes are there in the unearned income? 15 to 20% capital gains tax. That is here. And also here. So when we talked about rental income, your rental income is getting this tax. But if you sell your rental property, that's in here. You see the difference? Now, I would love to ask you, what percentage did you understand? Would you say 25%, 100%, 80%? How much percentage of what I just explained here you understood? I would love your comments. Ooh, 99%, 75%, 100%, 100%. My goodness. See, I'm telling you, you guys have the reasoning power. See, I just proved to you that yes, you can know the tax true, and the tax true will set you free. I just show you that yes, you can learn it. You just need to know the recipe. Yeah. So let me go to the other computer, and I would actually, yeah, let me go to the other computer and find out if you have, I would love to find out if anyone has a quick question. What?
Right, any questions you have for Susan, please go ahead and type it in the chat box. And she'll see it when she pops over into her other room.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me? If you can, will you raise your hand? You can? Okay, cool. I'm going to say something real quickly, you guys. A lot of people get into the self-development scene, right? So why don't we start keeping some of our money? A lot of times, you guys, we're programmed right away that if you're going to a party, you're having fun. You're doing taxes, it's kind of like a headache. You don't want to do it. The way that Susan's able to explain things and simplify things and make things clear is going to help us to really, understand in a different way. And why don't we try to look at taxes from a different point of view? Why don't we look at it like, how can we keep this money in our pockets? If we are conscious and we are paying attention, we're going to be able to keep it. Too many people have made mistakes. Let's not trip over the same rock if we could learn it now, especially by somebody like Susan that it has the patience and the clarity to show us how to do it the right way. Susan, tag right on to you.
Thank you, thank you. I would love to hear at least one or two people's takeaway. Um, what is your takeaway? I would love to hear from you guys, actually. Um, anyone that would like to share, that would be very, very helpful for all of us here. And don't worry, don't be scared. Um, I'm a human being just like you. You can share. Remember, we're like kids here, and playing together. So, anyone that would like to share a takeaway? And you can unmute and come on, and come on. I won't bite, I promise.
I'm going to pull somebody in just because I know she can always jump in and she has a strong belief to she is like the highest authentic, most authentic person I've ever met, but she doesn't like giving away all her money. So I'm going to pull her in if that's okay with you, Vladi, if you'd like to unmute. I'd like to hear, a little of a takeaway or your thought or something that you think just about taxes in general that might help another, because the more we voice things, the more we are able to help another.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, 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 yes. Thank
Okay.
you for
I do
pulling in.
apologize. I'm a little late, but I'll tell you why I'm saying it. Sometimes stuff happens in your life you don't predict. Today was definitely not something I planned, out of my control completely. But there are things you can take in control with. And I years ago used to actually work in offshore business, so I had to have a certain understanding in the taxes, compliance, and stuff. I did cross path where I had the diagnosis and I realized that I was just not in the business I want to be. I wasn't happy. I was financially free. I had zero time freedom. I couldn't take any holidays. I couldn't travel. I couldn't be flexible. So I've made a decision to, when I got a diagnosis, I literally quit the next day. And it was a huge decision. And what I've learned was I jumped into personal development 7 years, and I am absolutely in love and obsessed with this, with everything to do with mind and success and helping people. I love serving people. But what I've learned, I haven't put things in place. And this is me coming from an environment when I kind of knew a little bit about taxes and a little bit about how we should do. But I was one of those, I'm going to put my hand in, when I said, when I make more money, then I'll put the things in place. And it's just not the right way to go, because this is the wrong way of thinking. We need to step into the future avatar of ourselves and think from the end, from the person you desire to be. Let me ask you a question. Have you made a decision in your mind, committed, irrevocable decision, that you are rich beyond your imagination and you're happy and healthy multimillionaire and you're set for life? Like making a decision to be this person, that's where you start. If you haven't made a decision, then you're still kind of in this unknown luck energy and frequency where nothing's sort of happening. Not nothing, that's overstatement, but not much. But I am actually living in the UK, so I will tell you my story. Then you certainly, you start getting better, you're selling your business, you're getting better. And then you reach the place where you now think, oh, I wish I put things in place way sooner, because certain things I can't reverse. So I am paying just as many taxes as you guys. I don't think there is a country in the world, maybe Dubai at the point, but every country is the same. They take away half of the stuff. Not only that, everyone has the same time. I don't have more time than any one of you. But how well are we using the time? How much we're learning and being aware. What Suzanne's doing is amazing, because I wish I had someone who would come online and I would come across them way sooner and didn't make the excuse I did. I would be way off. I wasted money. I've got the free phrase I use, and this is: you invest money, you save money, you kill money, and waste money. Okay, it's four. But I completely wasted my money. And then retrospectively looked how much I lost on transaction, on interest, on stuff that I put in place. And my friend said to me, oh, you could have put this under the company instead of a personal name. Well, it's too late, right? I could have taken family on few holidays, probably buy the second property Susan's talking about. But that's okay. I learned the harder way. But my grandfather taught me one thing. He said the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because people take away their knowledge, all their experiences, everything they've gained, because sometimes we're holding on tight to it. But there's no competition. There is, if you share and you create, people will always help you. And I know, and knowing is the strongest frequency you can have. I wish I put these things in place way sooner, because I had this excuse. It was a condition I put in the temporary situation I was in. And okay, it wasn't the perfect situation, because I thought, let me do this first. It's like, when I have more money, I will hire people. When I have more knowledge, then I can do this. When it's conditioned, which means you're holding yourself down on a frequency of luck, and you're not making a decision from the person. When you're happy and healthy multimillionaire and you're set for life, and you can have this time, financial and mental, I'm going to add mental to that, freedom that you deserve to have, you will be thinking exactly like you should be thinking today. So what could you do today? What is the action you can take? Because it doesn't matter how much you build a business, successful business over the next year. And if they take away over half of it, this is the world's best investment, which I haven't made at the right time. So I'm speaking from my experience, because I wish I did. And some things are out of your control, but this actually isn't. This is the one thing you can absolutely take control of right now, create the most amazing foundation, and then everything, because when things happen, they happen fast. We're not almost ready for it. Sometimes it's like this gestation period. We're getting ready for success and whatever your job is, and love life and your health. But then when it hits, it's rolling. You're manifesting everything in a big time, and then it's too late to put certain things in place. Because usually they have this limitation. When you earn up to this certain amount, then you don't have to worry about some things. But then the minute you cross the account, it's too late. You can't go back. You actually crossed it, and like the video. I love it, Susan. They know everything. We can't say, I actually didn't make, you almost sometimes want to take away 20,000 so it doesn't have to be there. Can't happen. It's already there. So it's really important that make a decision for yourself from the place that you know where you're heading, and it will happen. It must happen by law, but take control. Do you put things in place where you building, like a Three Little Pigs story, build a brick house, which is your strong foundation. So when a little wind comes or anything, it stands. Because if we're building a straw house or a wooden house, it will fall. So I'm going to hand it back, but taking control is my biggest takeaway.
Vladi, that was amazing. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
that. And I hope you guys pick that up. I mean, there's a lot of you here and we're streaming all over the place. pick that up, control. You want to be in control of the things that you are able to control. And I have a takeaway that I thought was really, really great, Susan. I wanted to say, the more we learn and the more we understand this, the more legal ways we are able to reduce our taxes. So that's what we want. We want to do things the right way. We want to save the money. I know I keep coming to the same thing. Let's keep our money. It does, we get so creative, we get so excited, we're doing our thing, but let's keep our foundation strong. And I have a really cool story about Steve Harvey. Susan, I don't know if you would like me to share it now or maybe after you speak next.
After, that's good.
Perfect. Perfect. Sounds good. So here we go, Susan.
Yeah.
Keep showing us your magic.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is awesome. Okay. All right. I would love to share with you, if it's okay. Now that you understand the importance of this, is it okay if I share with you how I help business owners? And then we can hear about this person that paid over $22 million for not paying attention to his taxes. So, is it okay with you? Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate that. So, thank you, Angie. Appreciate that. This invitation is not for everyone, but it's going to be perfect for some of you. It is a 3-day workshop for wealth warriors. It is called the Wealth Warriors Code. You can finally take control of your tax bill before your accountant and the IRS. With the tax code, you will learn how to estimate federal taxes way before your accountant and way before tax season. You're going to have clarity that will give you that control back to control your taxes. You're going to be able to fix mistakes, and you're going to be able to pass that knowledge to your children and your grandchildren. Because this is not tax updates, this is the framework. This is the foundation, people. That's not there being taught. So I'm going to have these 3-day workshop August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. In one 3-day implementation workshop, you're going to have all the elements: the quadrant, the entire quadrant, the tax organization template, the drop of tax strategies, the TCS quadrant, set up to control your biggest expense. Not just this year, but every year after. It's like, wow. Each session over these 3 days, live coaching workshop is structured in a way that will automatically turn frustration into freedom, with implementation in real time. So you don't live with just a bunch of notes, you live with the control of the tax code. Something real that will transform your tax season into wealth season at a quantum speed. At this world-class experience, you're going to be surrounded with the best of the best in business. We will help each other and encourage each other to make the world a better place with the financial strategies that we're going to create together. Now, you're going to be able to estimate your highest federal tax cost, not during IRS tax season, but a wealth season. This gives you time to slash taxes with more strategies and create a plan to lock next year's wealth, next year's profit, people. That's how I did it with this business, with all these businesses that made $1 million. We got together 3 months before the year ended. We got things already together for the next year. So in 3 days, you'll have your very own tax cockpit, which is the Wealth Warriors dashboard. to organize and estimate your taxes each year with a clear and supercharged mind. It's something that people are not doing. And now you can focus on your most critical task, which is sales, sales, sales. Because you're already protecting it before the money comes in. So I only have 12 spots. We're going to go through the 4 steps to tax clarity, tax organization, deductions, and estimate. You're going to get the full recordings. And I'm going to give you bonuses, something that it's not out there, but I'm going to give you this. I'm going to actually sit with the business owner one-on-one to find out what's your current tax situation. I'm going to review your prior tax return because I want to see where you were, where you are, so that I can help you better in a customized way. Then we're going to go through the entire 3 days. And after the training, I'm going to give you another bonus. The other bonus is I'm actually going to sit with you again at the end of the training to make sure that you got everything, that you have no questions at all. You're ready to launch. I want you to be prepared. So that's how I can make sure that you really are empowered 100%. And then my other bonus, the third bonus, I'm going to sit with you and we are going to implement those tax strategies. We're talking about the accountable plan, the ghost rule, the family management plan, hire your kids, the S corporation election, the reasonable S corp wages calculation guide, choosing the right retirement plan, depreciation acceleration, the 1031 exchange. We're going to go through all of these to see which one applies to you and implement right away. And then I think that wasn't enough, like, like totally crazy. I'm gonna give you another bonus. This bonus is the expense navigator. It's clarity and 200 deductions explained simply. So think about this. It's a worksheet. You're gonna have all these 200 deductions, all kinds of expenses. And inside each one, there's gonna be a simple description of them. Because now you're going to be able to decide, okay, should I use this? Is this deductible or not deductible? And that's how you're going to avoid costly mistakes, right? And then I have another bonus. Like, that's crazy, but this bonus is like totally, these cost me hundreds of hours to put together, and I'm going to give it to you totally free. You remember how I told you I did the homework for this revenue agent when he came thinking that my 8-figure client was doing something wrong? And remember I said I did the homework for him so that audit goes really fast. I did the homework for you in this tax cockpit to save you hundreds of hours for you. I'm talking, I want the business owner to go through this training, get it done, get it implemented fast so that you can then focus on getting those sales because that's your main focus. But you want to build this framework when that money comes so that it is protected. Because otherwise, you know what happens? It all goes like the 2 men were asking for rain. God, give us rain, God. And then one of them put the framework so that when the rain comes, the rain doesn't spill. The other one's just praying, God, give us rain, give us rain. When the rain came, the guy that put the framework actually had rain. The other one, the whole thing was spilled over the floor. Business owners are like, God, help us to make money, help us to make money. And then the money comes. It's like, what happened? Like, I don't have any money. We need to build a framework, right? To protect it ahead of time. Not when the money comes. By the time the money comes, it's too late. Remember, I've been there for, gosh, 30 years. I've been in this financial world. I've seen so many different things. So what I'm telling you is 100% accurate. 1 trillion times accurate, actually. And then, as if that wasn't enough, the sixth bonus is the Wealth Warrior Accelerator Checklist. This is not just a to-do list, it's your roadmap to completion. It keeps you focused, tracks your wins, and ensures you finish strong. While other tools overwhelm people, this one accelerates your progress and clarity because it gives you the map. It's a map. Where are we? Here. Okay, let's do this here. What's the next step? So if this is for you, I'm gonna ask Luz Belen, my assistant, to drop in the link for an appointment if you would like to make that appointment. If this is right for you, let me see if Luz Ballet is here to place that appointment. If not, I'm gonna look for it. Okay.
I actually found it for you. I just dropped it in there.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. Thank you, Trace. Appreciate it. So that this link will give you, I open tomorrow, I open the next 3 days for those appointments. So if this is for you, get in while it is available, because obviously I'm not going to be doing this for the rest of my life. So get in. And now I'm gonna give back these to 80 for the
The team. Thank you so much, Susan. You guys, let me tell you a story, okay? I'm going to tell you a good story. You're going to love it. And you're going to love it because I think you're going to be able to relate to it, okay? There's going to be two stories. The first one is type in the chat if you need a house to live in. Just say yes or no. Do you need a house to live in? Like, do you need a place to live? Yes. Okay. So we need houses. I'm seeing we do need a house. Okay. That is not a need, or is it? It is. It's a need. It's not a want. You need a roof over your head, right? When I look at Susan and I see that what she's creating, this isn't a want, you guys. This is a need. Like this is something you really need in order to go further and faster and build everything that you're wanting to build. And I also wanted to say that when I also think of Susan, I think of how she relates things to us where it just really makes a lot of sense. There's a story by this comedian. He's a famous TV host. His name is Steve Harvey. I don't know if you guys know him, but Steve Harvey was making some real money, you guys. And he trusted blindly his assistant. And why am I telling you this story? It's because it's what all of us do. We pass on the stuff to someone else without us really understanding and knowing what's going on. And basically, when it was time every year to pay his taxes, he would just sign the checks to his assistant. Years later, you guys, his assistant died. When the assistant passed away, he had to go in with his new accountant thinking that he had all his ducks in a row. When the new accountant went in to check his stuff, I guess the assistant was cashing the checks herself. And she wasn't paying the taxes. He owed 22, was it million or billions of dollars? Million. $22 million, you guys. $22 million. That's why I'm telling you, is whose problem is this? Like, no one's going to care more than you guys. You guys have to be involved in what's going on in your world because no one's going to care more. Like, he never even imagined that was happening. And we do it all the time. And so, once again, I'm, just letting you guys think, don't wait for disaster to happen to you when there is literally a golden solution right now with someone who truly cares about making a difference in your life. And I also wanted to mention to you guys, with taxes, it's kind of like pulling a carriage. There's two horses, right? If one of them falls and trips, because you have the accountant and you have you. If one of them falls and trips, the other one goes and crashes. Okay? So let's pull together. Let's stay strong together to get to where we want to be. Um, and then I wanted to end this with my last little story, you guys. And this is kind of crazy, but it is so true. All right. It's a real story. My dad, when he came into the United States, you guys, it was him and several other men. They were coming on a train. When they were coming, all three of them were looking for, this job. They were going to go to this interview and they were going to get this job. When they were on the train and they were asleep, the other two guys ganged up and they locked my dad in like the train so he wouldn't get out because it would take him longer to get out because they wanted to get the job and that there's hunger in certain places in the world and they were coming, they wanted to go and do this, right? So but God is good. He's always taking care of us wherever we're at. Well, as when my dad woke up and realized he couldn't get out, the other two were going to try to get to the interview faster. He's always prepared. Write that down, you guys. Prepared. Put down prepared on the chat. Being prepared is like magic. And we have the ability to do that, right? And he literally got himself open, you guys, with a nail clipper. That's how he opened up and was able to get out. And guess what? When he got out and jumped off the train or whatever to get to the appointment, he ended up being closer than those other two guys were to that interview. So, and this is a true story, you guys. He literally said that he jumped in a river, washed himself up, and got to the interview first. And when he was walking out of the office where he got the job, he was walking out with his new boss. And when he was walking out, he had gotten the job. That's when the other two men were walking, like that's when the other two men were walking up. And he was going to tell his new boss like what happened, but he said something really special. He said, "If I would have spoken to my new boss about these things, it would have spoken more about my character than theirs." So really cool, interesting story how really life hits us. But he did teach me one thing, be prepared. And I believe that that's why I'm here today. I need to teach you guys to be prepared and do it for yourselves. All right. Thank you so much. If anyone else wants to add anything, that would be wonderful. Trace, Vladi, team.
Guys, I would love to just add up one more story, which is really great for me, and it was eye-opening, is about the fishermen. So what government and educational system to a certain point is doing to us is they want us to think certain way because it's a programming. And they don't teach us in school how to make money, but they teach us accountancy, right? So they teach us how to count them, but nobody really knows how to make money. They're not teaching people how to make decisions. They pulling them away when they're exercising an imagination and looking out of the window, and the teacher goes, "Come on, look at a board." And they actually take away that we're entertaining and practicing the higher mental faculties, which are your truest wealth. And we are drawn to what they want us to think. So going to the story of a fisherman, if you think of what I just said and bring it to the story. So there is a fisherman there was a young boy who sits on the shore and he watches this old guy. He comes, he goes a little bit further to the sea on his little wooden boat, and he catches a fish, and then he measures it, and if it's bigger than the little stick he has, he throws it back into the sea, and then this goes on and forth. And then he comes back to the shore, and the young guy said to him, "Can I ask you something? Excuse me. Like, why are you throwing all the biggest fishes? Because, I mean, wouldn't you actually prefer to have a big fish than taking a small ones?" And the old man says this, which is the system that they putting upon us. He says, "Oh, I've measured this very carefully. It fits my frying pan at home. So I know that this way, unless I catch something that really fits into my frying pan, then I would have to clean it and cut it, and I don't want to do it." Would you agree that actually that is, if me and you are not being careful, we may become like this older fisherman. There's this huge thing coming to you, but we're going to sit here thinking, but this fits into the framework I am operating from now. So that is the story I wanted to share, because this is a gold. And as I've shared, I wish I did my things at the beginning. So what I can do now is say to people, don't learn from your own mistakes. Learn from others take it and don't even experience it, because we sharing it for a reason. And the reason is we made a wrong decision a long time ago, so we would love you to make the right one. Thank you.
Oh, Vladi, that was so good. That was so good, you guys. So I'm really excited now, and I want to tell you guys, if you guys get audited, if any of you that is listening to Susan's work right here, if any of you get audited, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be prepared. So take the opportunity. Don't let things fly by. When you see an open door, it's open for a reason. Okay. So, Trace, if you don't mind, post that one more time for anybody that is interested. Please set up a call and go through your own stuff and make sure that you're set for life, not just for the moment, not just where you're ignoring things, but because you have your eyes wide open and you know exactly what's going on. So once again, I invite you to do this for yourself. Make a call with Susan. It's going to be something that you will never ever regret. Susan, you have been absolutely magical. I am beyond grateful for everyone that was able to come, and I've learned so much myself just by being here. So I'm grateful and thankful, and I'm going to pass the phone over or tag over to Susan to finalize this event. But it was such a pleasure and beauty to be with all of you.
Thank you, Amy. I want to thank you, Adi, for being so wonderful, for presenting in such a beautiful way. And I want to thank you, Trace, because like you came so wonderfully and helped out with the link. I really want to thank you, Vladdy, for sharing such wonderful reasoning power. That was marvelous. And I want to also thank all of you who are here. Thank you, Angie, Luz Belen, Renee, Ruby, Thomas, Tina, and I cannot see more of the names there, but
There's so many more, Susan, and we're streaming everywhere, so you're not going to be able to get to everyone, but
I'm streaming TikTok, Facebook. I just want to thank all of you for making the time to pay attention to your money. When you pay attention to something, it stays with you. Those things that we do not attend to tends to leave us. So what you're doing, I applaud you, because when we care, just like we care for our children, they grow so wonderful. We are supposed to take care of our wealth, of our God-given money. So much lies have been thrown into our minds that we're not supposed to watch our money grow, or that thinking about money is wrong. But money is a tool and it's necessary. If you have a car and it's broken, you will fix it. When you pay attention, that car start working very nicely. In the same way is with money. When we pay attention to our money, it starts growing. So thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys. Big bear hug to all of you. Sorry that we went about 7 minutes over the time. So receive that hug from my heart to your heart. And I speak over you that you shall know the tax code, and the tax code shall set you free one way or another. You are always going to grow. You are always going to succeed. There's always going to come great news to your mind. You're always going to be living in this heavenly atmosphere. You're always going to be connected with love and fun and action. You are called to serve, and your service, that which you are here to do for others, it's going to impact millions. So continue on with your dream. Don't ever stop. Continue moving forward, because God is with you. Thank you so much. Big hug.
So good. So good. Let's keep our money.
Take care, everyone.
Let's keep our money, guys. Let's keep our money.
Ooh, yes.
Have a beautiful rest of your day.
This has been fun. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you.